When did you and Marcia connect and have this idea for the Bailey School Kids? Do you remember?
I was stalking her actually. Um, we were both teachers and hadn't met yet. She was at a school in Lexington, Kentucky, and I got married and moved, started teaching at a little school in Versailles, Kentucky. Unbeknownst to me, she had taught at that same school at the position I went to in first grade,
Mhm.
and she left and went to another school. Well, I found out why she left. And after teaching there a couple of years, I went to the same school that she was teaching at and took her first grade position because she decided to go to third grade. So I was like stalking her all this time. And then one day we were both, believe it or not, exercising in the school had like this weight room. And we were lifting weights, pumping iron. And we just got to talking. I didn't know her real well because, we were like at different ends of the building. And but we chatted and we said, I've always wanted to write a book. And I went, oh, I've always wanted to write a book. And I had written this really terrible book with like line drawings for illustrations. It was really bad. But Marcia is the kind of person who says, well, let's do it. And so the very next day we sat down at a table in our school cafeteria called the teacher's table. And we started writing stories together. So I stalked her until I caught up with her.
Well, I mean, sometimes you just got to follow some people around until something good happens, I suppose. Was the first idea you guys started kicking around collectively, was it the Bailey School Kids, or were you guys just brainstorming?
We actually wrote for about I think it was like a year and a half before we were had a really bad day. we were both teachers. Well, at that time I had become the head librarian, and we were had been writing together for a little bit, and the kids in the school were having one of those days where they were kind of goofing off and acting silly. And I noticed in my library, but when I went over to my friend Marcia's computer lab where we were going to work on a story together during our lunchtime, she met me at the door of her classroom and she said, these kids are driving me crazy. I can't take it anymore. She said, I think I'd have to be some kind of monster teacher and have horns and things, have steam out my ears and shoot up 15 feet tall. And when she said that, I went, oh, Marcia, I like that idea. I think we should put away this real serious story we've been working on. And we should write a story about a teacher like that. And that's where Mrs. Jeepers from the Bailey School Kids came from. And actually, when we were trying to decide what our characters should look like, we were sitting in my office in my library, and the foreign language teacher came in. And she spoke with an accent, and she had long red hair and long fingernails. And when she came in, we went, oh, that's what we want our main character to look like. So that's where Miss Teepers came from.
Does the do you remember the foreign language teacher's name?
Yeah, Mrs. Green.
Mrs. Green.
You're listening, Mrs. Green. Thank you so much.
Does Mrs. Green get a royalty check every year?
She should, yeah.